All attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Okay, you can unmute yourself now, Julie.
Look, they're pretty.
All right, you there, Julie? I don't hear you.
I haven't said anything yet,
Okay.
That's why.
All right. You sound loud and clear. How are you?
I'm super. How are you?
Yes, doing phenomenal.
Awesome.
That's my nephew in the background.
Okay, I was like, there's no children here. My daughter is mostly sleeping.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, I'm going to just move your photos over to the slideshow, and we will start in about a minute.
Okay, sounds great. I'm going to mute myself, though, until you introduce me.
Okay, beautiful. All right, guys, we'll be starting in just a minute.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the webinar. Who's on the line?
Phyllis.
Oh,
hi,
hi, Phyllis. Hello, we're about to start. We'll talk to you in a minute. All right.
Oh, that's mine.
What? Nope. All right, guys, about to share a screen and get right into it.
Hello all and welcome to Duplicate Success International Monday Night Webinar. Today is Monday, December 19th. My name is Randy Crebs, Executive Gold Director from Salt Lake City, Utah. I have the distinct honor of introducing the host of tonight's webinar. He is a very well-respected business leader and mentor in this industry. You'll definitely want to have your pen and paper out, sitting up, paying attention, and taking notes as you learn how this industry expert continues to build his business successfully. He has achieved the rank of Emerald Director within our company. He is the co-founder of Duplicate Success International. He is an amazing leader, mentor, and most importantly, I'm very proud to call him my son. Jared, are you on the line?
I am, Dad. Thank you so much for the great introduction. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the webinar. I'm very excited because we have a special guest tonight that you are going to learn a ton from. And first, I want to just welcome everybody, especially those who are on their very first webinar with our team. And we're very excited for you, and life will never be the same once you start building your business. Me and my wife have been with USANA for over 11 years now, and I can tell you that that was the best financial and physical health decision I ever made. And we're actually out of San Antonio, Texas, but we're in Salt Lake City right now. We just arrived on our Christmas vacation, and we're really excited because I'm going to be here with my grandma and everybody else throughout the week. And it's just nice that our business allows us to have this time off and to travel and spend time with the people that are most important to us. And so before we get into the training tonight, I just want to remind you of the DMO. This is our team DMO. That stands for Daily Method of Operation. If you're going to start a business, any type of business, you're going to have a method of operation, right? Like if you owned a Subway restaurant, you'd have hours that you were open. You'd have certain ways you did your business. With USANA, there's 3 things. If you do these 3 things every day, you're going to be successful. Number 1, use the products every day, AM and PM. And that's non-negotiable. You want to be a product of the product. Number 2 is do your 2-2-2 for the day. That's 2 new presentation videos sent out, 2 new follow-ups with prospects that are on the fence, and 2 calls to existing clients or team members. And that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where lives are changed. And that's really where it's at, is taking that action with your 2-2-2. And then the third thing is listening to at least 15 minutes or more of personal development material, either reading books, listening to audios, or being on webinars. So I applaud each of you for being on this webinar and investing in your education and investing in your skill sets. And so we always start by doing team recognition, and I love it because these are the people that are actually doing the DMO. You can tell because they're enrolling new associates and new clients. So let's go ahead and go welcome some of the new clients that joined with us in the last week. Big welcome to James Lucas, new client introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. Great job, Renee and Megan, and welcome, James. Welcome to Evelyn Ramirez, new client introduced by myself and my wife, Crystal. Welcome to Jeff Reeb, new client introduced by myself and my wife, Crystal. Welcome to Helen Ding, introduced by myself and my wife, Crystal. We had a great week last week enrolling clients. Big welcome to our new associates. In fact, I think we have her on the line. Veronica Cade from Somerset, Texas, new associate introduced by Claudia Zacharias. And if I may, I'm going to try and unmute the lines and see if I can welcome Veronica. Let's see. Veronica, are you there?
I am. Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Yes, doing great. Welcome to the team.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm so excited.
Oh, we are excited too. So tell us a little bit about you. The team wants to know what's your work background? How did you find out about USANA, and why are you excited about it?
Well, my background is I'm a registered nurse. I work in a neonatal ICU. So nutrition, both before, after, and during pregnancy has always been a big topic of interest for me. Just general women's health has always been something that's fascinated me, and the fact that the company is started by Dr. Wentz and is actually trying to promote health and not just a product is what has impressed me the most. And being able to share how much I've enjoyed the skincare line, I'm really excited to start using the supplements myself and sharing it with everybody I know.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I can tell because you already did your weekly action plan without even being trained on the weekly action plan, and I am very impressed. That was awesome.
Wow. I jumped the gun a little bit, but I was excited, like I said.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your nice introduction, and we're excited to be working with you, and can't wait for Thursday.
Me too. Can't wait.
Awesome. All right, Veronica, talk to you later.
Alrighty.
Also, big welcome to Marcus Lambaria from San Antonio, Texas, new associate introduced by Renee and Megan Martinez. Great job, Renee and Megan. And welcome, Marcus. Also, welcome Debbie Aguirre and Daniel Zapata from San Antonio, new associates introduced by Patty Garcia. Way to go, Patty. And big welcome to Debbie and Daniel. I know that they've both lost over 10 pounds on the My Smart Start Transform program. So it's really cool that they're getting great results with their health, and they're loving their business and all the tax write-offs that come along with it. All right, so now we're going to do some recognition for a rank advancement. In fact, we just had one of our newer team members, Don Morales from Pleasanton, Texas, just advanced to the share level. A share associate is somebody who's basically making about $50 a week, and that's $200 a month if you're doing that every week. So Don passed that $50 in a week level this week. In fact, she could probably even go up to the believer status. But when you get here and you're doing it consistently, your products are paid for. I mean, that's a major accomplishment, because not only are you helping others, but now your products are free and quote unquote, right? I mean, your business is paying for your products. So I'm going to try and unmute Dawn, and I want to just pick her brain for a minute, because she's had success. She's been in less than a month and she's already doing this. And Dawn, I'm not sure her number. Just one second. Okay. (830-570). Okay, I just unmuted you, Dawn. Are you there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Hey, big congratulations on your rank advancement.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
So tell us a little bit about you. Not everybody on the team knows you. And give us a little tip. What is helping you be successful?
Well, I think right now it's kind of being a product of the product. I'm using more products now than when I just started, and I'm just loving everything and just feeling better, looking better, and getting questions from coworkers as well as family members, and it's just kind of happening.
It is.
Just see your shake, and they see you taking your vitamins, and they're curious. And the thing is, it work. They work, and they make you. It's good products, great products. So
wow. So you're saying that what's helping you be successful is being a product of the product.
I feel like right now that's what's happening, because as I'm taking more of the product and feeling so much better, and it's kind of where the questions are coming from, and so right now it's kind of a part of it, at least. That's a part of it, and then of course, just sharing it, because I love the product so much with my family and my friends, coworkers.
Absolutely. Well, Dawn, I'm really proud of you. Say that again?
I said, and of course, following you and Renee and doing my videos and following y'all's path. That helps.
Well, you're very welcome. We appreciate that. And we're very proud of you for all your success. And this is just the beginning. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Now we're going to go into some special recognition. Me and my wife were number 9 preferred customer enrollers last week. Thank you, Dad, for making this slide. We enrolled a lot of clients last week. And then we have some more special announcements. We have the Nutrimil individual packets available, and this is the only way to get strawberry for all of you strawberry lovers. They're in the 28 packs, and they're actually a discount. I think you save money over buying them in the bigger bags. And this is once these are sold out, the strawberry is going to be gone for good. For those of you who love strawberry, this is the only way to get it. the older shakes are going to stay in the chocolate and vanilla flavors. So that's right here. Nutrimil is back. And so the company saw that our older formulation of shakes are such top sellers that they decided, instead of totally phasing them out in favor of the My Smart shakes, that they want to coexist. That way, our clients who love the Dutch chocolate and the French vanilla can still get the shake that they know and love. And then our more picky clients who want zero sugar in their shakes can have the My Smart shakes. So I think it's the best of both worlds, and I'm pretty excited about it. So you can tell all your clients, all your team members, Dutch chocolate and French vanilla Nutrimil is here to stay. It's back. Strawberry is not, though. I don't know why strawberry isn't. I bet if you guys put up enough comments and posts, and you know talk to corporate, they might even bring back strawberry. Who knows? But we'll also have our great My Smart shakes still available as well, which is where the future of our industry is going, is in the direction of the My Smart shakes. And also the peanut butter, if you like the Peanutty Bliss bars, these are the older bars. They're only available for 2 more weeks, and they'll be retired on December 28th. I guess actually more like 9 days. And then this is the one I'm most excited about. USANA is doing free optimizers through this Friday, December 23rd. So if you buy the new shakes, you get 2 boxes of optimizers, the flavor optimizers, which is actually the dark chocolate and orange are the ones that are available right now. And that saves you $14. So that's a really great deal. I highly recommend you take advantage of that and let your associates, that's for associates and clients and everybody who buys the My Smart shakes. And also, this is the last week kits. So through the 23rd, if you want, this is it. Tell all your associates that you have on the fence. If they enroll by Friday, they're going to get the free BDS, which is $30 off. And the initial order reward bonus also applies through this Friday. So if you sign someone up, and then in 4 weeks, if they have their auto order go through and they get their initial order reward, you'll get a match. You'll get exactly that same money. And that's kind of complex, but I'll just put it, this slide kind of sums it up very simple. You see, if, like, for example, if they get a $25 discount on their auto order, you get a $25 cash award on your check. So, and that could happen on their next 2 auto orders. What does that do? That incentivizes you to teach your new associates how to use auto order. It incentivizes you to teach them the system. We're already very good at that, but hey, may as well get paid more money for that. And that's unlimited amounts of associates. WAPnWin Incentive going on, and this is from December 10th through March 17th. Week 1 is already in the books, and if you're looking at these slides and you're like, well, what is this incentive? Well, it's all about the right behaviors. Like, for example, like if you go to Houston in March, or I guess the next one is Washington, D.C. in March, and then Chicago the last week of March, or you go to San Antonio April 1st, or San Diego April 8th. If you go to any of these events, you're the best USANA associates in the United States. These are major events around the country. And so we want to encourage that behavior. And so we're going to give you cash if you win, if you get the most points. And it all comes with also doing the right behaviors. So we have the top 3 right now: Renee and Megan Martinez, 21 points; Claudia and Tony Zacarias, 18 points; Lillian Galdiano, 15 points. We're really proud of each and every one of you that are playing. It's a 14-week incentive, and you get points by having your binder done, registering for the U.S. celebration, rank advancing in your business, posting your weekly action plan, posting your DMO tracker. So if you want to know more about this, contact your USANA mentor, and they can explain all of this to you and how you get points. But basically, by doing what you would need to do anyways to build a successful business, you're going to win cash. How much cash? Well, basically the first is $200 for first place. Second place is $125. Third place is $75. But if you go to the celebration, there's more. If you go to the celebration, the cash prize doubles to $400. Second place is $250, and third place is $150. I mean, that cash could pay for your plane ticket. That cash could pay for your hotel. your food the whole weekend or what have you. But we want to incentivize people who are doing the behaviors that build a successful business. And we've been doing this incentives for about a year now. And every time we get through a 12 to 14 week period, man, everybody's business who's been participating is so much stronger. So I want to encourage you to be consistent. This is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Play the game, have fun, enjoy it. And we'll keep you posted on the incentive week in and week out. Put on a winning smile and go get them. Today's forecast, 100% chance of winning. Thank you to my lovely wife, Crystal, for making these slides. I appreciate you, baby. Lastly, before we get into our training, when you enroll a new client, make sure you add them to the USANA clients page. You just add them right here, and you put a picture and make a big welcome post. That's very important to make them feel special and important. Also, add them to the Team DSI page. That's our business page. This is for associates. So same thing, you add a photo, you add them there. Everybody, please comment. You've been doing a great job commenting and welcoming your new team members. It's awesome when they get so many welcomes. And then also add people to Hybrid Solutions. This is for associates only. You add them there. And then if you need stories, you can search the group. Hybrid has, over 6,000 associates there. So that's a bigger group. So those are the things to do when you enroll your new associate or client. One more special announcement before our training. There's some new tools. We have a client welcome sheet, an associate welcome sheet, and a first hour checklist. We'll probably do a webinar that goes over each one of these specifically, but what do you do when you just enrolled a new client? You give them the client welcome sheet. What do you do when you just enrolled a new associate and they're about to go home and they're excited? You give them the associate welcome sheet. What do you do when you do your first training with an associate? You give them the first hour checklist. If you're watching this right now, screenshot this or write down these links. I'm actually going to go on. So we'll post these in our private page, but these are the tools that you need to start your clients and associates off correctly. So I want to encourage you to save those links, memorize those links to heart. They're very simple. They all end with teamdsi.info. And now we've made it to our training segment. So I'm going to pause 5 seconds and we will, just for editing purposes, I'm going to unmute Julie as well. Dad, could you please unmute Julie?
I got it. No worries. I'm here. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
All right. So we always turn this into a YouTube video. So I'm going to take a 5 second pause and then I'm going to come in and give you an introduction. Okay. Hello, my name is Jared Crebs. Oh, sorry. I'll go again. Hello, my name is Jared Crebs. I'm pictured here with my wife, Crystal, and our dog, Tasia. We're out of San Antonio, Texas, Emerald Directors, co-founders of Team DSI. And tonight we have a very special training, a special guest, Julie Boyer, a Ruby Director from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. She's pictured here with Dr. Oz. And I first met Julie, oh my gosh, it was probably 8 years ago at one of the big international conventions, and I've watched her grow in the company. I've watched her succeed. Some of her highlights and accolades, she's been with USANA now for over 10 years. Julie replaced her corporate job income with her USANA business, and she used to work for blue chip companies like DuPont and New Balance, the shoes. And she was actually able to build her business part-time and build it to a point where she was able to walk away from corporate America. I'm not sure how long. She's going to share her story with us tonight. That's very impressive. She's also a best-selling author of 2 books. One's called 30 Days of Gratitude, and the other one is the 30-Day Whole Body Detox Recipe and Guidebook. And those are best-selling books on Amazon. She's just got such great energy, such great heart. I get the pleasure of seeing Julie at all the big USANA events. She's family, USANA family. Julie is also an awesome mother and wife. She's mother to Celine, who's 6 years old, and her husband is Dan. And it's just been so great to get to know you, Julie, over these years. You definitely are family. I love seeing you at all the events and always getting a chance to visit with you and take pictures together. And I'm just so proud of all that you've accomplished. Thank you for taking time to be on our team webinar tonight. I know that you have your webinar that's at the same time, and you were able to actually leave that webinar to be on ours and share your story. So I really appreciate it. Our team is really excited to hear from you. And go ahead and take it away. Welcome to the webinar.
All right, so I'm going to do this because I like to use a webcam. So I'm going to try and get your team over to Zoom webinar because we have webcams there. It's really fun. And I'd rather tell my story because your team probably doesn't know me. I haven't met very many people from your team besides your immediate family, I would say. And yes, I've been partnered with USANA for just over 10 years. My 11-year anniversary is going to be in February. So Jared and I have been involved in USANA for about the same time, but it's not a contest. Just because they're at Emerald and I'm Ruby, it doesn't make, it's not important. That's the whole thing is we often get into USANA and feel like we have to advance at the same speed as everybody else, but it's not true. Our journey is our own journey and we have to go through the steps and the growth in order to get to where we need to go. So a little bit about my story. So Jared almost had it correct. I actually, I had already left my corporate jobs before I started USANA. I was living overseas. I was a French teacher, teaching at international schools, and I was training for my second Ironman triathlon. An Ironman triathlon. Yeah. I've actually completed 3 of them. So the Ironman is those, if you're not sure what that is, it's a 2.4 mile swim, 110-mile bike, and then a full marathon, which is 26 miles, all in a row, all in one day. It seems crazy now that I did 1, let alone 3 of them, but I did. And I can't even imagine that life now. However, I was training for my second one, Ironman Switzerland, and Leanne, great check at the time, but now you all know her as Leanne Jacobs, who is a 1-star diamond. She is one of my very best friends. We've known each other for, I'm looking at the date, we've known each other for 17 years next month. We met in corporate and we always said we wanted to go into business together. And she introduced me to USANA. She sent me the health pack and said, you need to take these vitamins. And I said, no, I take a vitamin. I'm good. I take 1 a day. And she said that she really wanted me to take those vitamins, and I did. So I started taking the vitamins, and within 5 days, I was sleeping better. I was recovering faster from my workouts, which is huge when you're training for Ironman. And I was waking up with more energy. I was used to like go to work and then come home and go to sleep. I was so tired from all the training. And now I actually had energy. And I was like, I don't know what is in these vitamins, but I'm in. And she said, oh, there's a business here. And I said, okay, cool. Like, send me some information. And at the time, there was a 10-minute video on the usana.com website. Jared, I don't know if you remember this video, but all I remember is Vincent Chan was in it. And I was like, oh, this guy seems nice and trustworthy. Do you remember the video?
I didn't. I never saw it.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It wasn't even on YouTube, right? Because there wasn't even YouTube. It's crazy. So we watched this video from Vincent Chan, and I'm like, this seems nice, sure. And she's like, it's $1,000 for you to sign up. P.S. It's more expensive in Canada, just so you guys know. So it's $1,000 for me to sign up. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? I can try a bunch of products. I already know I like the health pack, and she kept telling me about these peanut butter bars that were great. So that was it. So that was my huge decision to get into business with Leanne. And I'm going to tell you guys about my first ever Health and Freedom. I had never seen a Health and Freedom nor had a presentation. I downloaded the PowerPoint, looked at the slides. I'm like, I could probably do this. So Leanne, I wasn't home yet. So I was presenting to my Canadian friends overseas. And I was doing my first Health and Freedom live with the PowerPoint I downloaded from usana.com. And Leanne was supposed to help me on Skype, but her audio wasn't working. And while I was in my very first presentation ever, I had someone ask me if it was a pyramid scheme. And he was actually belligerent about it. He's like, no. He's like, you're in one of those pyramid things. I'm like, I don't think so. It's a legitimate business. I didn't even know what a pyramid scheme was. And so that's Leanne and I's favorite story, because anybody else would have quit. Like, if your first presentation, you're by yourself trying to present and someone tells you you're in a pyramid scheme, most people would quit. But for some reason I didn't. I just kept going. And that's pretty much my story. Is I've faced a lot of challenges. And you guys, if you see me on Facebook, you see a lot of the success for sure. But I'm pretty authentic, and I do share when I go through challenges. But you don't see what I do every day. You don't see the challenges I have to overcome every day in my office in order to be successful. So know that right from the start, it wasn't easy for me. I ended up coming back to Canada. I was supposed to be a teacher. I actually was teaching without a teaching degree, and I was going to go to school to be a teacher. Well, I did. I went to school for 8 days, and then Leanne had said, you have to go to convention. And I said, okay, because I just agreed with whatever, at that time I was just totally believed. Well, I still pretty much believe anything Leanne says and follow her because she's an amazing mentor. But she said, you have to go to convention. You have a ticket from your kit. All you need to do is book your flights. I've already booked the hotel. I'm like, okay. So I went, and I had been to school for 8 days, went to convention. That time, our team, which is Game Changers International, there were 12 people from the Ontario, our province in Canada. That was it. Last year, there were over 250, just to give you an idea of how the team has grown. But I fell in love with the company. Yeah. I was just trying to find you that picture because it's so funny. It's like Leanne, myself, and a couple other people from Ontario, and the rest of our team was from Quebec, the French-speaking province in Canada. And I fell in love with the profession. I fell in love with the company, and I already knew I loved the product. So I came home and I dropped out of school, and everyone was so shocked because I'd always wanted to be a teacher. So I dropped out of school.
So you went to convention and saw how big it was and saw what people could accomplish, and you decided to just drop out of college and go straight full-time USANA.
Right.
That is
so
that's cool.
I don't recommend it. So it's like, nobody, please don't do what I did. So I'm back home. I've been away for 2.5 years. I have no network. When I left, I was actually divorced. So you can imagine that affected my network in a way. So yes, Dan is my second husband. So I was divorced. I'd been out of the country for 2.5 years. For the first year I was back, I actually lived in my parents' home because I had no money because I had started a brand new business. So I ended up taking a bunch of part-time jobs just to make things work. I actually started a second business, tutoring French, because I could still tutor even though I wasn't a teacher. But I knew tutoring was a linear income. I knew that there was a cap to how much money I could charge per hour and how many clients I could see in a day. So I knew that I had to make this residual income thing work. So in 18 months, I replaced what was previously my corporate income. So that's how long it took me to replace the income. Now you say, oh, Julie did USANA full time. It was easier for her, but it really wasn't, because you can't really do USANA full time, especially like 10 or 9 years ago. I mean, we did not have the same, like, it was one-on-one meetings. That was it. And you weren't meeting people through the internet. Like, you had to get out and physically meet people. So even though I was working my business full time, I probably didn't put more than 20 hours a week into the business. So that's sort of step one. And then this is the interesting part of my story that not a lot of people know, but I'm happy to share it with your team because I think it's really important. So in 2009, I was a silver director, and back then, silver director, you had to max out a business center. So you had to reach 5,000 volume on your left side and 5,000 volume on your right side in 1 week. And often you got paid a lot more than that. However, I was stuck there. And in that time, to become a gold director, you had to repeat maximizing a business center for 4 weeks straight. And I just couldn't get there. And I was so frustrated, and I was making really good money. It's really funny now when I look back at that time. I actually was making a gold income, but did not have the title. And I was like, why am I not a gold director? And I'm like, well, the problem is USANA and its comp plan. So I went to a generic MLM training event in Vegas with a gentleman called Randy Gage. And just to be clear, he was not the one who recruited me. Actually, nobody recruited me. I was so upset and frustrated with myself, even though on the outside it looked like I had a really successful business, that I was open. I was just open to hearing what other people had to say. And I met these great diamond directors. They did work with Randy Gage. I did end up working with Randy Gage and with Eric Worre, actually. Eric Worre is now the founder of Network Marketing Pro and the GoPro movement and everything. So I left USANA for 2 years, and I went and worked in another company. It's not important the name of the company. They're not even relevant today. However, it was a very humbling experience because I went from making over $1,000 a week to the best month I ever did was $1,000 a month. We got paid every month with this company, and then you get paid 2 weeks later. I was like, I'm used to getting paid every week. And now it was a crazy difficult time, but I had to go through it. And I did. One of the best things I ever got out of it was the training. I got to train with Eric Worre before he was Eric Worre. You know, it was like 100 people in the training. It was amazing. And they used to have quarterly training events, and I would fly to all these events, and we were broke with a capital B. Like we went from me making a really good income to Dan, my husband, supporting us, and he had to like pay me. He had to like give me an allowance so I could live. And I understand that for a lot of people that's okay, and that's the way they're used to live. And it's not a judgment. It's that for me, I had never taken money from a spouse or a partner before, so I was like, this was really hard for me. But I learned some amazing lessons during those 2 years. I eventually left that company. They changed their comp plan. I stopped getting paid. I'm like, well, this doesn't really work for me anymore. And I wasn't sure what to do because I had never stopped using many of the USANA products. And I knew in my heart that I wanted to come back to USANA, but I wasn't sure because I'd really broken a lot of relationships when I left. So Leanne, being the most amazing person that she is, invited her over. We had tea, and I said, look, you know, I hope you forgive me for me leaving. And Leanne had already forgiven me like a month after I had left. She doesn't carry any of that with her. She actually advanced to Ruby and Emerald in the 2 years that I was gone. And she said, you know, if you ever want to come back, the door is open. And I said, let me think about this first, because if I do come back, I am coming back forever. This is it. Like I love network marketing, and I don't want to be a jumper. I don't want to go from company to company. So I had done all that personal growth, so I knew I was ready to come back. So I did. I was able to come back. Thankfully, I was able to reopen my business, and it was amazing. And all of a sudden, I became grateful for a 100 CVP check, whereas 2 years before, $1,000, I was like, this isn't enough. So really had a lot of lessons in gratitude. That's where I started my gratitude practice. The convention that year, 2011, I heard from a gentleman called Sean Aker. He wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage, and he talked about changing your habits in 21 days. And one thing you could do is start a gratitude practice where you write every night 3 things that you're grateful for specifically to that day. So they have to be different every day. So I started that. I had had a gratitude practice before, but it had fallen to the wayside. So I started that gratitude practice, and I added a 4th gratitude intention, which was, I am so happy and grateful to be a new USANA Gold Director. So that was it. That was in August. And then 12 weeks later, I started my Gold Director run out of the blue, completely out of the blue. So basically, I had been building my business, and I thought, well, I'll do gold in January, February. It was the end of October. I remember it was Thanksgiving. It was Halloween, and that was the first day of my gold. I ended up signing a very big corporate gym client, actually, and they ended up signing up like 45 people in their first 90 days. It was crazy. And then the other team just sort of hopped into action. I don't even remember how it all came together, but it did, and it was exciting, and it was crazy, and it was done, and I was gold. And, you know, I went to, at the time, what was called Gold Retreat, which was the same qualification as Leadership Retreat, but it was called Gold Retreat because you had to be a Gold Director to go. I went, some of the people that were at my Gold Retreat, Anna and Yvonne Lozano, who you might know, they are Diamond Directors now. I went gold at the same time as Elisa Gracci from our team, who is also a Diamond Director. Many of our friends from Mexico, Veronica Rames, and Maritza and Juan Pablo, also from Mexico. They're, I think, 2-star diamond or something crazy. Anyway, we all went to, oh yeah, and Vivian Lee and Alex Tai, who are also 1-star diamonds, were at my Growth 25. Like, it was a crazy year for growth. But I still hadn't grown beyond being a gold director. So I had my daughter at that time. My daughter was just turned 1 when I did my gold. So I was a full-time mom to my 1-year-old. She went to daycare 2 days a week. She would come with me to meetings all the time from the beginning. And I didn't have a problem with it because I wanted to build my business, and I never felt like I was taking anything away from her by bringing her to my business meetings and taking her with me, because that was just the way it was. It was either that or put her in full-time daycare, and I didn't want to do that. A lot of women if they want to be a full-time parent, hats off to them. That's their choice and their decision, and I respect that. It's just not the right decision for me. I love my business too much and I love my career that I didn't want to give it up. So I've blended the two ever since then. So that was my run to gold. I've been through a lot since then. I've had some amazing, amazing experiences as well on the way to Ruby. It took me a long time when they changed the compensation. It took me a long time. It took me, I think, almost 2 years actually. So the crazy thing is before the compensation plan changed, I was an executive gold director. And then when the compensation plan changed, it was coincided with a time that my business had shifted. But what we don't tend to realize is that our business shifts, but it takes about 6 months for that shift to show up. So if you're not paying really close attention to your numbers, and I'm not talking about what you're getting paid, I'm talking about the underlying auto order volume. I know a lot of you are new and you're like, I don't even know what she's talking about. But for those of you who have been in the business for a while and are growing your businesses, your auto order, your residual volume every week is the true health of your business. And at the time, I didn't really know and track that. Now I track it every single week, but it tells you what's going on in your business. So at the same time, the compensation plan changed, my business dropped significantly, and it took me almost 2 years. I think it took me 18 months. April of 2015, I actually became an executive gold director for the first time. And I was so excited and thrilled to actually achieve that goal. And I was able to repeat it again in 2016. And then 3 weeks later, I became a new Ruby director. And yay! So that was exciting because, when you've been the same level for so long, you're like, I just want to get to the next level, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, it's not right. But now with the new plan, it's not so much about just advancing because you want to be executive at your level before you advance to the next level. You want a healthy business. You want to get paid. You don't want to be a diamond earning a gold income. That's not fun. And it's not authentic, right? Like I can stand on stage comfortably right now. I earned executive golds in the spring. I became a Ruby director shortly thereafter. I'm on my way to executive Ruby, and I'll earn that in the spring. So I feel confident standing up on stage. But if I had advanced to Ruby and wasn't even making executive gold money anymore, it doesn't feel authentic to stand there and talk as a Ruby director when you're not making, that executive gold or better income. So that was in the spring. I did earn my room for Costa Rica this past year.
Yay.
So I went to Costa Rica. Yay! So it was my second USANA trip. My first one was Growth 25, as I mentioned, in 2012, which was the last just Growth 25 trip, which was so cool. And I'm on my way to Punta Cana already for this coming year. So I hope you guys are all coming with me because it's going to be super fun. And there's my story. There's lots of other things I could add, but I think I've given you enough to sort of ask questions if you like.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I was just taking notes, and actually, Julie, I wasn't aware about you leaving USANA for a couple of years. I guess we lost touch.
We did, yeah.
And then when you came back, I thought, oh, she was always here. That's amazing. Wow. And I have a question for you. What do you love and appreciate about USANA? Now that the grass isn't greener, like what made you want to come back?
So at the time, one of the biggest things for me was the athlete guarantee, the $1 million athlete guarantee.
Uh-huh.
It was that USANA is number one in the comparative guide. It was, and it actually, one of the big ones for me was the 5-day reset program. So I had a great personal experience, and now it's a 7-day My Smart Start. For those who are new, don't worry about the old program, but it's a similar program to help reset your blood sugar levels. The program changed my life because at the time, so I told you when I started with USANA, I was training for my second Ironman triathlon, and I had never lost a pound. So I was training 20 hours a week for triathlon, and I never lost any weight, and I was 20 pounds bigger than I am right now. And I was like, well, that's just my size. Like, I'm okay with it. I didn't have an issue with it. I just assumed that was my size. And then I did the 5-day reset at the time and lost 5 pounds. and then continued. I changed the way that I was eating because I didn't know I was eating such high glycemic foods and I was spiking my blood sugar. I had no idea. When I was training for my first Ironman, I worked for Hershey's. You know, the chocolate people?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can imagine what my blood sugar was doing back then, but at least I wasn't gaining weight because I was training. It was crazy. So anyways, that's a whole other story about sugar addiction. But yeah, I lost 20 pounds and I dropped 2 sizes and I've been that size ever since. I was in 2008 and obviously I had a child that gained weight, but I got back to my regular size within a year. I gave myself a year and I got back to the size I was before, and I have one wardrobe. I have one wardrobe that fits me. So that 5-day kickstart and then transform like I've been a top preferred customer enroller in Canada for the past 5 years straight. I was awarded it in 2007, 2008 from USANA. Now it's crazy. Like, you know, I'm in like the top, I think I'm number 60 something right now in North America. But to be in the top 25 now, top preferred customer enroller, it's a whole different ball game. It's not necessarily a ball game that I'm going to play in, but you know, I've been staying in the top 100 preferred customer enrollers for years, and because I really truly value the customer program and the lifestyle change. That's why I developed the 30-day whole body detox program, because I love the lifestyle change about what we do.
Wow. I love it. So for you, it was a lot about the quality of the products and what the products did for you personally that made you want to stay with USANA and build your business.
Well, and the USANA family, right? Like,
of course.
You know, I mean, I think about like just us, how I'm sure you remember how we met, because I'd heard you on a Life Masters and I'd played your Life Masters again and again. And then I was like, oh my God, it's Jared Crebs. I was so excited to meet you in person because you were on Life Masters. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
I know, such a goof.
That was a long time ago. That was awesome. That was like 2007.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But it was a great, I still like remember your voice in that. I wish I found a bunch of old Life Masters CD and I was looking for yours, but I don't have it anymore. But it's such a great training.
I have the track. I can send you the track.
You need to send me the track because I'm going to share it with my team. It's one of my favorite trainings ever. I love it so much.
I'll share it with everybody on this call too.
Yes, you need to share. Okay.
Julie, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share some of these great tips and lessons and perspectives on what you've learned in your USANA journey and what your life is like because of USANA. Because I know there's a lot more to it too that obviously we don't have time to go into, but I do want to open this up for questions just for the last few minutes. And before we do, I'm just going to do a few announcements for everybody to hear, and then we're going to come back and ask you questions. Is that okay?
Of course. I just thought I'd turn my camera off now.
All right. Thank you, Julie. All right. So just real quick before we go into Q&A, mark your calendars. The 3 big events in 2016 are complete. Congratulations to everybody who attended any of these events. We went to Vegas in April. We went to Salt Lake City in August, and we went back to Las Vegas in December with GoPro. The next big event is January 12th through the 14th at the La Quinta Riverwalk in San Antonio, Texas, Challenge U. And then January 26th through the 28th at the USANA home office in Salt Lake City, Challenge U. If you're not in either of these cities, then choose which one you want to fly to and go get trained by top performers in USANA. Everyone that's on stage is either a full-time income earner, a 6-figure earner, a $1 million club member. You're going to be learning from the best in our teams. And the ticket price is there's early registration through January 6th. All right. And then mark your calendars February 2nd through the 4th also for the Sweet Retreat. And that's for ladies, the top female earners. You're going to be trained February 2nd through the 4th. It's an amazing event. My mother, my wife, my mother-in-law are all there. All of our Team DSI ladies are always there, and they learn so much. I wish I could go. I'm jealous of that every February. And then also March 2nd through the 4th, there's a big event in Las Vegas at the Mirage, the most successful women in network marketing. And so that's a generic event hosted by Eric Worre, and anybody can go, men and women can go to that event. And then, of course, we have Houston, Texas in March for the Spanish market. So if you know anyone who speaks Spanish as their first language, that's going to be a great event. We have Washington, D.C., March 18th. We have Chicago, Illinois, March 25th. We have San Antonio, April 1st. We're excited about that in our local market. We have San Diego, April 8th. And then, of course, we have USANA International Convention. Now, this is the most important event of the year. If you go to any event, this is the one. August 16th through the 19th, 2017, you're going to be learning from the top people in the whole company. Literally, people from all 20 different countries are there. Tens of thousands of people. The event's actually sold out. So the only way you can get tickets is like going on Facebook and making a post like, hey, I want to buy a ticket. And I'm sure you'll find one, but they're about $200 a piece. It's a 25th anniversary. So they're probably going to be doing something big. They gave out free iPads to everybody at the 20th anniversary. So you never know what's going to happen, but this is the most important event of the USANA year. Mark your calendars, August 16th through the 19th. Julie will be there. I will be there, and all of our teams will be there. Look at all the teams people we already have registered. I think we have over 50 people registered, like almost 2 full pages of people that are registered. So I'm really proud of everybody on these lists. But if you're not on this list, get yourself registered for International Convention. It's the most important event of the year. And then Julie was talking about Punta Cana, November 8th through the 12th. Mark your calendar. You want to go 5 days in Punta Cana with your USANA family? Hey, if you want to learn how you can win it and actually have it paid for, visit that link there, puntacana.teamdsi.info. Save that link. It's a 12-minute YouTube video we made on how you can win this trip. And we won a Caribbean cruise actually about 1.5 years ago, and it was amazing. So I know these trips, they're just unforgettable. And I can't wait for you to be with us in Punta Cana, November 8th through the 12th. Also, mark your calendars, November 16th through the 18th, GoPro in Las Vegas. This is going to be a special event because you're going to hear from Tony Robbins, who's a master in, well, not just a motivational speaker. I'd call him almost a thought leader because of the ways that he's transformed my business and my state and what he's done for us. Also, you're going to hear from Pitbull, the world famous recording artist, who is not only a musician, but a very, very great businessman. And you're going to be learning from all top networkers. The only people they allow on stage for that 3 days are people that are making 6 figures a month, not 6 figures a year, 6 figures a month. Okay, tickets are $400. Payment plans are available. Start planning for that because that event is unique. Texas Associates. Actually, we don't have a slide for this, but Renee and Megan Martinez have their Wednesday mixer at Viper Elite Fitness. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is this is a picture of the bins that I keep in the trunk of my car. I always have GoPro books, GoPro audios, Power of Cellular Nutrition, CDs, USANA newspapers. Be ready. I want to encourage you to be ready because you never know when you're going to bless somebody's life. Always take your computer to all your mixers. Take all your forms. Be ready because don't rely on your upline. You need to be that leader. You need to have all your forms and be ready to enroll somebody. So I'm really proud of everybody for being on this webinar. We're going to open it up for questions just with the last 10 minutes or so. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring Julie back on the line. And then if you have a question, send me a text or raise your hand here on the webinar. And I'm going to unmute you. All right, Julie. Does anyone have a question for Mrs. Boyer? Let's see here.
I will tell you one thing because I know it always takes people a minute to ask questions and they might be nervous, but I will tell you one thing that Jared and Crystal and actually his parents as well. I see all of you guys lined up first in line wherever we run into each other, whether it's at a USANA convention or another USANA event or recently at GoPro Recruiting Mastery. And I want you guys to know, like, these guys are leaders and they actually could be sitting elsewhere where they don't have to like be there early, but they're lining up to be the first in, because they know that there's a huge difference when you're sitting right at the front as close as you possibly can versus hiding out at the back. And I want you guys to know that, because you're being led by some really, really incredible people who take this business seriously and treat it as a business every time I see them, no matter what. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of props.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Julie. And you're always right there with us. We always see you in the front row.
Right?
Always, yeah, you're just the same. Just
Yeah.
looking into a mirror when we see you.
I know.
But thank you for the edification. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
We have our first question. We have Lillian Galdiano from San Antonio, Texas. I just unmuted you. Oh, let's see, Lillian. I don't know how you unmute yourself, but muted because attendee did not allow browser permissions. I'm not sure if you're able to unmute yourself, Lillian. If you call in on the phone number in your email, we can.
Or can she put it in text? Can she write it in the chat box?
You could also text me the question.
Or write it in the chat box? No, don't you have the chat? Oh, you have the chat box off.
Oh, I need it. Well, I just need to learn how to turn it on.
You and I are going to have a fun talk about Zoom.us once this is finished, because you're going to love it.
Okay, yes. Here's your question. She texted it to me. So, Julie, could you please talk about balancing USANA with your job? Lillian actually works in corporate, and she has a great job. And so many times she just has USANA to work on the evenings, and she has to balance that with her life and everything else. Mm-hmm. So can you give her some tips on being successful in that environment?
Well, I'll tell you right now, Lillian, it is not easy. I'm going to be straight with you. It's not easy. You have to have a white hot burning why and a super strong desire to make this successful, because you're going to have to do USANA in the little nooks and crannies of your day. So that means in the morning, whether you, I don't know if you have children or not, because honestly, it makes it even harder if you have kids to take care of. It really does. But let's say that you don't have children and you get up and maybe you go to the gym before you go to work. Well, instead of going to the gym for an hour, you go to the gym for 30 minutes and you do 30 minutes of USANA in the morning. And then on your lunch hour, you sneak out and make calls in the car. And then when work is done, like you're dedicating, you drop out of a lot of your sports and extracurricular activities, and you go at this until you are free. This is the biggest myth, is that, you don't have to make sacrifices to be successful in USANA because it's a part-time thing. But if you are trying to replace an income, if you are working full-time and you want to get out of that job, or if you have another business you're trying to get out of, you're going to basically have to do the business and USANA. And then if you have kids, you're going to have to fit them into somewhere, or a husband or a partner or a spouse. But that's all you're going to do until you're free. And the thing is most people aren't willing to do that. So then they never get free. And then they're frustrated that they've been working at this business for 1 or 2 or 3 years part-time and they're never free. But it really does. It's going to require sacrifice. I don't know if you like that answer or not.
Well, Julie, no, that's straight. That's telling it how it is. And Lillian is unmuted now. Are you there, Lillian?
Yes, I am.
All right. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thanks so much, Julie. I really appreciate it. And I also wanted to shout out to Jared, because he has been a great inspiration, and he inspires me to go above and beyond what I could probably think I would normally be able to do. So you're right. We do have a great leader, and I appreciate your pointers, Julie.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, Lillian.
I think one of the hardest things in this business too is that, we don't appreciate the leaders that we have that are in front of us. Just like with your team, I don't know if it's different, but with my team, if I have a guest speaker on our team calls, we get more people listening live. Whereas if I don't have a guest speaker and I'm doing the training, I get about half the number of people. And why it's so important for me to share and edify what Jared is doing is because we don't sometimes see what we have right in front of us as being something truly incredible. And we focus on what other people have to offer. But remember that your leader got to where they are through a lot of hard work. And this business is not a hard business. It's not a difficult business. It's actually very easy. But for someone to be successful and to be in leadership in USANA, it takes those, like you have the DMO, the daily method of operation, day in, day out, every day, whether you want to or not. And, you know, it's the price you pay, I guess, to be in leadership and to replace a full-time income. It's that price you pay. So I hope that you guys get a great turnout on all the weeks, whether you have a guest speaker or not. And I hope that you really, truly value and respect your amazing, amazing leadership, because I feel so honored to have shared my story with you guys tonight, and just know that I'm super grateful for our friendship and everything that I've learned from you guys too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. We have time for one last question. And I need someone to ask a question. We got 3 minutes, and we have a top director, Ruby director from Ontario, Canada. Who's going to ask the last question? We got some new people on this call, first-time associates. Okay, I got a question. I'm going to unmute Renee Martinez from Pleasanton, Texas. Renee, great. I want to introduce you to Julie Boyer. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
How you doing, Julie? Thank you so much for being on and for sharing your amazing story. And my question to you is, whenever you were training for your triathlon, your very first one, what part of your business were you in? Like, what rank were you? Were you full-time? Were you part-time?
Okay, so when I was training for Ironman number 2, I still hadn't started USANA really, like I was just a product user with a business. So by the time I got to Ironman number 3, however, I was basically training for triathlon, working my USANA business, working part-time at my friend's gym, tutoring, and then doing my USANA business. Like, that's all I had. And it was hard because I was on my own. I had rent to pay. It was kind of scary. My parents sold their house. And after I'd been living with them for a year and I didn't have another job, like I said, and they sold their house. And all of a sudden I had to pay rent. And I was like, okay, like I have to make this work. And let me tell you that it was tough. To be frank, I actually had to cash in some of the money I had saved in. That's why I don't recommend doing what I did, because it's just the fact that I came back to a new country and I was actually unemployable because I hadn't worked in the country for 2.5 years. My skills as a teacher didn't transfer here because I needed to have a teaching degree to work here. So I was really forced to do things on my own. So I did at one point have to cash in some savings that I had to help me survive. But then it was also like, I remember that point going, okay, I'm going to cash in this money. And once it's gone, like, I have to make this work. So it really became like, I'm going to make this work. You know, I hit the bottom. I had $100 left in my bank account. I got in the car, my POS car, if you know what that stands for, drove down to the Poconos, if you guys know where that is, in Pennsylvania, to a timeshare my parents had given me for a week. And I spent a week. I had 9 or 10 different personal development books. I had my journals. I basically journaled and wrote and read for a week straight. And I had to figure out if this was what I was going to do or not, because I was in a pretty desperate financial situation. And I came out of that week going, there's nothing else I want. And in that week, I actually wrote also what I was looking for in an ideal partner. And I ended up 7 months later meeting my husband, Dan, and we got together. And I was training by then. I was in full-fledged training for Ironman. And I basically told him, like, this is the deal. Like, I'm training full-time for an Ironman. I have a full-time business. I don't have time to date. So you're either in this or not. And he's like, okay, I'm in. And that was it. And, 4 months later, I did my third and last Ironman. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what actually happened.
Wow, that's amazing. And one last thing, what was your best time of the 3 that you did?
They were all very close, actually. 14:03 was my first for Ironman Canada. Then I did 14 and I think 38 for Ironman Switzerland, and then I finished Ironman Arizona at 14:08 But that was my best race.
Well,
That was my best race. So that was the race where I was using using USANA products like crazy. Like I was using so many supplements. I had lost the 20 pounds, but it was my hardest race. There was 18 to 20% attrition rate because it was 104 degrees in the desert. People were dropping like flies. It was crazy. I should share I'm not sure if you're the only one who's interested in Ironman, but I actually have that Ironman story posted on my blog, and I just came across it recently. So, Jared, I can share that link with you if you want to share it on your team page. If anybody wants to hear that Ironman story, if you're into that, I can share the story.
Absolutely.
I would definitely want to check it out because I'm actually in the works of training for an Ironman.
I imagined you might have been because those were great specific questions. Yeah, we can talk and just reach out to me on Facebook. By all means, you can add me as a friend.
Awesome.
My pleasure.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Julie. We really appreciate your time. We all learned so much tonight, and this is going to be recorded. So I'll get you the YouTube link once it's done, so that you can have that and share it with anybody if you ever want to. And again, we really appreciate you being on the webinar tonight.
Total pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much for honoring me and sharing my story with your team and your tribe. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next Monday. Actually, it's the day after Christmas. What are we doing then, Dad? We'll get back to you guys on that. We haven't thought of it yet. But I'm gonna go have dinner with my grandma. I'm excited for that. Thank you, Julie. Love you. Love everybody on this call. Everybody say good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless.
God bless.
All right, God bless.